Hey friends, welcome back to Love, Food and Fitness. I'm your host Archana Kumar, an FME consultant, a nutritional meal planner, of course a woman and a mother of two beautiful daughters who's walked every aspect of a woman's life so far. In today's episode, we'll be exploring the full journey of a woman, first steering off adolescence, puberty to menopause and so on. These transitions, they shape us, they make us stronger actually, but you don't think like that, but that's what happens. We become much stronger mentally and physically also if we take care of ourselves. But if I go back and think about myself, when my daughters were about to become a teenager, I used to worry as to what will be the bodily changes they'll have and how am I to explain things to them when they attain their puberty. And even for myself, recently only I had faced a lot of perimenopause surprises, which were not known to me very well. So we often feel alone in these moments, but these are universal and they definitely deserve an open and caring conversation. So, to guide us today with her expertise and empathy is Dr. Deepti Asthana. She's Additional Director of Ops and Gynae at Fortis Memorial Research Institute, Gurgaon, and she's also founder of Kalosa Aesthetics and Gynae Clinic, Gurgaon. So, whether you're a young woman asking questions or your mother seeking answers for your daughter, whether you are a father, you're a brother, you're a husband, or just a partner wanting to support her, do listen to this episode because there's a lot to learn from here right now. So, as the conversation is around women's lives, so naming the title of the episode today as Every Phase, Every Change, a woman's guide from adolescence to menopause. And now over to Dr. Deepti Asthana to guide us and enlighten us today. So, welcome, Dr. Deepti Asthana. Thank you so much for being here
Thank
today.
you. Thank you for having me here. And as a mother, as a female, I feel very close to these topics and I just love speaking on them.
I know. Thank you so much. So, if we start from diving in straight away, so if we start from adolescence and it's a time of big changes and a lot of pressures that girls go through. So, are you seeing teens, which of course we all hear about it, teens going through a lot of irregular periods and hormonal acne and so many other things? So, what are the most common gynecological problems you're seeing, and how should the girls be taught how to deal with them?
See, as soon as a girl attains the puberty, so there's a sequential change. First, her breast starts developing, then her axillary hairs, and then comes the start of the menses. So, all mothers should know this. And the moment the menses start, there's alignment of the hypothalamic pituitary axis in the body, and there's start of hormonal changes in the body. So, it takes some time. So, you should all know that in the starting years, periods are irregular, and that is perfectly normal. Like, mom should not panic that if some female or some girl is having irregular menses, that's a perfect normal thing which happens. But if the girl is obese, if the girl is having some other underlying things like polycystic ovaries or hypothyroidism, these irregular menses will continue forever. So mother has to assess whether her daughter is having any underlying cause also. If the menses are getting irregular and they're continuing after 3-4 years also, then we have to take a call. We have to see whether her child is into any physical activity, whether she's into sports, and mother should make sure that the girl is doing something. Physical activity should always be there, and hormonal changes they occur more if the girl is not doing anything. Nowadays, with the coming of mobile ages and everything, kids are not playing in the park anymore. They are just into mobiles. So this is causing more incidents of hormonal imbalance. So hence the cases of irregular menses, acne, facial hairs, these are all more. So a mother should assess all this and come to a gynecologist if she thinks that there is some problem.
You know, even if I was just remembering when I was a child and the breast started increasing, didn't even know what clothes to wear. You know, that kind of small change also was developing in the body. So I think the mother hand holding is very important at that stage of time.
Yeah, of course. And I think all the parents, once they see that these pubertal changes have started occurring, they should give education to their daughter also. A girl should know what is going to happen to her body. This education is a must, and she should be prepared to handle these changes. She should be taught that now menses are going to come, and this is all which is going to happen. She should know how to apply pads. She should know what are the hygiene methods she should follow, so that in future when she gets her actual menses, she's not scared, she doesn't feel low in confidence, and she goes ahead and embraces all the changes confidently. And in fact, I think all the boys also should have all the education, so that they also respect their changes, also their pubertal changes, as well as changes in the girls. So they should be knowing that what are the changes which are going to occur in a female also, so that they respect a female more. They don't body shame. So nowadays, like when a girl is there in 6th, 7th, 8th class, it's a common scenario that their skirts get stained. So boys should know that they shouldn't be laughing at the girl. He should be there and he should instead help the girl. He should not be body shaming. He should not make her confidence less, and the girl should not feel embarrassed. It's a very normal thing which can happen at any moment of time.
Yeah.
So girls should know how to handle it, and nobody should feel embarrassed or less confident.
I think it should be taught really in school also. And this is a very
Yes, yes.
emotional
Yeah.
topic actually.
Yeah.
Which,
I think all the schools are having classes nowadays. They are teaching, like they're taking classes for boys also, and they're taking classes for girls also. So I think all the schools have started taking classes, and that's a good change. That's a good change which we are seeing.
yes, that's nice. That's nice. But also along with this, with the menses when they start, there are a lot of cramps and mood swings that girls go through. So how should the parent or the mentor or the guide, whoever is with the child, to understand that this is normal, because sometimes the cramps are much more than normal.
Yeah.
Are there any red flags to understand ki, this is more than what is
Yeah, yeah.
accepted?
See, when a girl is having ovulatory cycle, with ovulatory cycle we mean when the eggs are being released from the ovaries. Girls tend to have little painful periods, which is perfectly normal. But if your periods are so painful that it is disrupting your normal activities, if a girl says that she cannot go to her school and she cannot attend her studies because of the pain, then that's a red flag. And then these kind of kids should come to the gynecologist, because there are conditions like endometriosis which can happen in young child also. So I've
Alright.
seen girls as young as 13 to 14 years with endometriosis. So all the parents should be knowing that there's something known as endometriosis which is pathological and which can cause painful menses, and these are very very painful, and a girl's life becomes really terrible with these such kinds of pain.
Is this curable? But I'm also hearing it for the first time.
See, it is not completely treatable. The symptoms can be managed with lifestyle, with hormonal treatment. But if your endometriosis is so much that it is disrupting your life, hormonal treatment is advisable. Okay. And the other thing you asked me was mood changes.
Yeah.
So mood changes. So this is a very vulnerable age when a girl is entering her pubertal scene and this teenager age. So even my daughter, when she was entering her teenage, she used to tell me, Mama, instead of telling me that now I'm a teenager, she used to tell me, Mama, now I'm an adult. I will take my. So, matlab, they think they're in their own world.
Yeah.
So, if we add hormonal changes to it, so a girl may have more mood swings. So, with change in identity, like they're totally confused what is happening to their body and how is everything in their classes also, how's everybody reacting to it, adjusting to it. So mood swings are very common. So if the mood swing is associated with menstrual cycle, we do give them some supplements. So first thing is, all the mothers should make sure that their girls are exercising. Even if they have menstrual cycle, they should exercise. So having menstrual cycle doesn't mean that they'll stop their exercise for a while. So even during their menses, first thing is mom should encourage them to have a regular exercise routine or any sports activity, whatever they like, be it basketball, tennis, whatever they like, they should be continuing those. Second is, just before your premenstrual period, there is a surge in progesterone hormones which causes water retention. So just before their periods, uh, daughters, they should avoid having too much of salt in their diet. So they should be avoiding Chinese foods which have high salt content, or any pre-packed snacks or high salt any food, so that water retention itself is less in the body, which will cause less of mood swing, less of headaches, less of bloating, water retention, breast pain. So that's important.
This is just like 3-4 days before the menstrual cycle.
So
starts?
a week before a menstrual cycle, there's salt content. Well, they can have normal salt content, but these extra salt things like pickles and chutneys and all those things, those should be restricted.
वो normally I think वो normal language will खट्टा मत खाओ, मतलब maybe all these things you
yes,
around that.
yes, maybe.
I really don't know. Even at this age, you don't know so many things if you look back. So apart from this, are there any food things that you'll recommend that they should eat during periods or?
See, as simple food you can have, which is possible, like homemade,
Home
home
cooked
cooked food. They should avoid all kind of junk foods, high carb foods, burgers, pizza, and all kind of junk foods. So even for PCOD, for endometriosis, we all say that food should be as simple as possible. So high carbs and junk food all should be restricted. Any food which is going to cause inflammation in the body should be restricted. So nowadays it is very important because nowadays the cases of PCOD endometriosis are increasing day by day. So earlier we used to have so less patients, so like the patients which used to come for endometriosis, they were so less. Even PCOD was not so much. But now it is, I think, every second or third adolescent patient we are seeing either for PCOD or endometriosis.
Was it lack of awareness? Pehle ya
Could be, could be, could be.
could be
Lack of
because now that
awareness,
people are a
yes.
little bit more aware, they're
Yes.
talking about it. But
Plus,
you're right.
physical activities have decreased because
Yes.
earlier kids used to play in the playground. That was the only work they had after coming back from school. But now everybody is on phones. Nobody is exercising. So these are basically lifestyle disorders only. So they are increasing with ages, with times.
वो कहते थे ना कि इवन जो खाना पहले बनता था वो नीचे फ्लोर पे बैठ के बनता था, मतलब ना
Yes,
जो
yes,
मीठी वगैरह में
yes,
जैसे बनता
yes.
था खाना, तो उसमें the way we used to sit and cook, not me but our maybe grandmothers, when they used to sit and make, वो तभी वो exercise ही होती थी एक तरीके की pelvic exercises जो
Yes.
अब हम we have to go out and probably do those pelvic floor exercises, but वो अपने आप हो जाती थी. अब वो खड़े होकर जो किचन में हम लोग काम करते हैं या फिर ऑल दो थिंग्स बैठ के कर रहे होते हैं ज्यादा से ज्यादा हम लोग, तो आई थिंक हर फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज हैज
Decreased. of
decreased a
course.
lot. But talking about periods is still a very awkward point, a very awkward point. मतलब in some cases very strangely even daughters talking to the mother is a little awkward situation. A mother trying to explain to her daughter becomes like an awkward situation. Do you kind of see these cases where you are kind of made to explain to the child ki kya process hai, things like that?
Yeah, of course, mothers are coming, and I think that's a very welcoming awareness which we want. So even which I tell, like if a mother is not able to explain it to her daughter, I think they should take the daughter to a doctor so that doctor can at least explain. Because as I told you, as soon as your puberty starts coming, all the pubertal changes they start coming, a girl should know that what is going to happen to her body next. So it is very important that if the mother is not able to tell, either doctor or some other relative who's like well versed with all these changes can tell the daughter, because it is very important to know what is normal and what is not normal. So if you don't know what is going to be a normal period, then you will not know what is abnormal. So if you don't know that, so within 13-14 years, if you're not having your menses and if you are just having breast changes but menses are not coming, then there could be some problem also. So that is, if you know that this is what is expected, and if it is not occurring that stepwise, then maybe you can go to the doctor early.
अच्छा इसमें I don't know, many a times lot of friends of mine say कि medicine नहीं लेनी चाहिए as a painkiller or something when you're having cramps. Getting back to the cramps point, is it okay to take some painkiller when you're having those cramps, or it's not advisable?
See, as I told you, ovulatory cycles can be painful.
Yeah.
So if a child is not able to go to school, first trial is always giving her mild painkillers. We don't want diclofenac to be given or very strong medicines to be given, but simple antispasmodics like Dotenol and all can be given to the patient, so that we know that yes, now this is not working, then we can look out for other causes. See, for a young child, we can only do ultrasounds. We cannot go for invasive testing or something. So it is very important to have clinical assessment and judgment for the patient. So if the patient is not being cured by simple antispasmodics, of course we have to go to the next step, and this would be possible only when we know that the patient has been given the primary treatment. Also, I don't think so any mother would want to see their child missing the school. It is better to give them painkillers and let her complete her studies, because that is more important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think
But the next point is heavy periods can be worrying. When there's a lot of bleeding that is happening, and so how much bleeding is considered normal, and when should actually parents think that it's not normal and they should seek an expert advice?
okay, I'll tell you a very interesting story regarding this. So just 3-4 months back, I got a call from a pediatrician that they have a patient who was around 12-13 years, and she had come with the complaint of parents had taken with the complaint of anemia. So her hemoglobin was 6.
Okay.
So parents were not aware that this hemoglobin 6 has they have reached 6 because the girl was bleeding so much. So instead of taking the daughter to the gynecologist, they
Gynecologist.
prefer taking her to a pediatrician because of the anemia. So I think all the parents should be aware that for any female, maybe in puberty or adolescence or in later years, the first thing an anemic girl should be assessed for is the amount of bleeding they are having. Okay, so if the patient or a girl is changing tampoons or pads every 1 to 2 hours, if she's if her bed sheet is getting stained at night, if she's using 2 to 3 pads at one time, and if she's passing big clots, and if her hemoglobin is dropping, the first cause to see is menorrhagia or this, and they should be taken to a gynecologist. This is not normal. So much of bleeding is not normal, so they should not ignore it, and please take the treatment at the earliest so that she doesn't go into such severe anemic cases. And in that girl, as I'm telling you, we had to give her blood transfusions, and then only her hemoglobin came up. So
Six
I think
is very low. It's
yeah,
like really,
that is what now. So there should be a red flag sign. A parent should get alert. Any girl who's bleeding so much, she should be taken to a gynecologist before she gets so much anemic that she needs blood transfusion. So that is important.
Okay, but I think we have associated gynec thing only with pregnancy.
Yeah.
We've forgotten that woman's body goes through so many changes that a gynae is needed from the word go
Yes.
to probably till we
Yes.
arrive. There's so many aspects that keep on
Yeah, so
happening.
puberty menorrhagia, I'll tell you, is very common. So as your this pubertal changes happen at the start of the menarche, many girls get heavy menses, and sometimes you have to add hormonal tablets to normalize it. So the moment you see that girl is bleeding too much, please take her to a gynecologist instead of wasting time and lowering her hemoglobin. And even for adults, I think as we move forward, as we'll discuss menopause changes, and many females they bleed and when they reach menopause also, and
Yeah.
that time also husbands are not aware. When they get the blood test, then that hemoglobin comes out to be so less, then they know that it is because of the bleeding. I think females they are taught that way. They don't discuss their menstrual cycle with the family. I think that taboo should be removed, and all whether it's a girl should be free to discuss all this with her family, and as a mother also, as a female also, you should be free to discuss it with all your family. You should not feel ashamed or embarrassed.
Yeah, it's still a fear or an embarrassment
Yes,
thing is there.
yes.
People don't talk about. Even
Yes.
friends sometimes don't talk about.
Yes, yes.
That's strange. That's strange. So, since you just mentioned menopause, so let's just talk about perimenopause and menopause. You know, we all of us have been facing this kind of problem, especially my age. You know, my friends, and we're all going through this thing. And if I speak of my experience, which you know very well of, so between that hectic life schedule and family commitments, honestly speaking, my own ignorance to the fact that I was bleeding heavily every month on month. The number of days per month were going on increasing, but still, all the symptoms were there. You know, there was anxiety, there was low mood swings, and everything was happening. I didn't know what to do, or probably I was just ignoring those symptoms. Actually, a very good friend actually dragged me to see a gynecologist. That's you. And then after you checked me and did so many tests, we came to know that I had a large fibroids which need hysterectomy. Of course, surgery went off very well thanks to you, and everything was very good. But the point is that lot of women, even when they get these symptoms, sometimes it's lack of information, lack of knowledge as to what these situations are, and sometimes it is also embarrassment and fear how to talk about it. So if we and these symptoms sometimes arrives in early 30s, in 40s also. So what do you think should be those early signs which one should understand that this is now perimenopause has started and we should take care of all these things?
So see, when we are talking about menopause occurring in late 30s or 40s, this is early menopause. Sometimes we call it premature ovarian failure also, because it is not meant to happen at that time. Okay, when it happens after 45, it is normal, but when it is occurring before, it is premature ovarian failure in late 30s. So see, in menopause, what happens is estrogen decreases, but
Yes.
estrogen is good for your heart and for your bones. So if menopause is occurring in 30s or 40s, it is actually doing more harm to you, because your bones, you will have all the osteoporosis signs early, you will have all the menopausal signs early, and in such cases we do give hormone replacement therapy till a female reaches 45. So anybody who's having early menopause or even in 30s, which you call as premature, if they are not getting menses for more than 1 year, please go and meet your doctor to know the cause. Sometimes females feel very happy कि यार हम तो बहुत खुश हैं कि हमारे periods बंद हो गए.
बंद हो गए,
It is
I know.
not something to be happy about. अगर
Yeah.
आपके early menses cease हो रहे हैं, sometimes it can be pathological. So we don't want your ovaries to stop working in your 30s. We want them to work so that आपका estrogen बनता रहे, your bones remain healthy, your heart remains healthy. So if it is occurring early, they should always see a doctor.
No, that's right. वो खुद ही पता नहीं चलता है. So, how can someone distinguish in normal menopausal symptoms and those that need medical attention? But now is the time to actually see a doctor.
See, menopause hits each and every organ of the body. Okay, so once you reach menopause, everything is going to change. Each and every organ is going to show some symptoms. Okay, so like your skin is going to get drier, it will lose its elasticity, it will become more loose. Okay, your in bones, if we talk about you, your osteoporosis is going to increase. If we
This
talk
is all
about
because of
heart,
menopause?
yeah,
Okay.
if we talk about heart, your blood pressure is going to rise. Your heart, your lipid profile is going to get deranged if you're not following a healthy diet, of course. And if we talk about the most affected part is, of course, genitourinary system. Your there's going to be dryness in your vagina. You're going to get repeated urinary infections. You're going to get repeated vaginal infections, and your the organs, the bladder, you will become loose. The bladder muscles are going to become loose. Urinary incontinence is going to increase. So there are many changes which occur.
This is a
But-
lot. This is a lot.
this
This is just not stopping off the period. This is
So-
much, much more.
Yeah, because your vagina loves estrogen. When estrogen is not there, these are the changes which are going to happen. But you should take preventive steps so that these changes don't disrupt your life. Your normal daily thing is so like prevention is always better than cure. So you
Always.
should always go for regular checkups so that we know what is your blood pressure going on, what is your lipid profile going on, and where you can step in and take care of your diet, how much exercise you're doing every day. So, see, menopause is all about emotional wellness, physical wellness, and plus mental wellness, everything. It is all a combination of fact, a combination. So, you have to have balance for all these things. You should say exercising is important in your early days, but it is more important when you reach your menopause. So, with exercise, I mean muscle strengthening exercises. So it is not necessary that you always join gym, but yes, joining gym will always help you. Okay, and then you can do yoga to strengthen your exercises. Then regular, see, walking is just not enough. You have to have muscle strengthening thing for your pelvic floor, also for other muscles also. Plus, you can meditate so that your mental wellness is taken care of. Make good friends, make a circle for yourself. And there are other disturbing symptoms of menopause like hot flushes.
Yes.
So for those, I think you have to meet your doctor so that she can give you supplements. So there are stages where we treat it. First, we treat it with supplements. If it doesn't become better with that, then we'll sometimes you have to add hormone therapy also. So your doctor is going to assess like what stage you are and what kind of treatment you will be needing. So other thing which is like very bad when you reach menopause is your osteoporosis. So I think I request all the females to go for regular DEXA scan so that they know that what is their present density, and if it is too low, there are supplements to increase the density. So they should be taking regular calcium, vitamin D. Those are important, but apart from those also, there are treatments for osteoporosis stages. So I think that awareness is also very important.
And this is
Plus-
all because of estrogen levels going down.
Yes, yes. So other thing is as I told you, the vaginal repeated UTIs. So Kegels exercise comes there. So you have to keep strengthening your pelvic floor tone so that with loss of estrogen, your muscle doesn't become too loose, because with loose muscle, repeated UTIs can happen. So keep your water intake good, keep exercising, keep doing Kegels exercise. For vagina, keep taking probiotics. And I advise all the people to practice sexual, like with menopause they think that now their sexual life has ended. It has come to a halt.
Yeah.
But I think that should not happen. They should continue it, because with time your vagina is going to atrophy. So to maintain that, little bit of sexual activity is always welcoming.
Not to ta-
Don't get
not
scared.
to take care. we just don't know about it. It seems हमको पता ही नहीं है सारी चीजें ना हमको. So while you've already spoken about Kegels exercise and other things, but daily, if we say what as a family support, what should be the mindfulness of the family members around us? Because there are a lot of mood swings that happens. I think I've heard people saying कि मैं dementia हो गया है, ADHD हो गया है.
Dementia and although those do happen.
They do happen because
Yes,
of
they do
estrogen
happen.
level going on.
Not only estrogen levels, because that's a normal part of aging. Your
Yeah,
brain
yeah,
cells
yeah.
are also getting old and damaging. So that's a normal part of aging. So you have to increase your supplements, eat good food, take antioxidants, take omega-3, okay, and keep practicing. So your neurons should be at work. It is not, don't give them too much of rest. Like, you should be engaged in some activity so that your brain is in the active form. If it becomes less active, then these things are more they increase. So
physical activity, whether we are adolescent age में हैं या फिर
Yeah.
we are at
Yeah.
50s talking about
Yes,
menopause,
yes.
physical activity is the name of the game.
physical activity, mental activity,
Mental
everything.
activity,
Everything should be
everything
going
should
on.
be balanced
Yes.
and taken care of.
See, menopause doesn't mean you have to stop everything. So no pause. You should not take pause when you reach menopause.
Yeah.
So your life should go on at the same pace.
As well, me no pause. Okay, you shouldn't pause.
Yes, you shouldn't pause. So that's it.
Yeah, that's nice.
So take healthier diet, exercise, make good friends. That's it.
But also, normally we now at this stage we go and see a gynecologist. We don't always go to a gynecologist when we see there is a problem. Do you think seeing a gynecologist like a annual routine checkup or something is also important, or
Of course, it is
it
important.
is important?
See, prevention is always better than cure. As I told you, there are many cases of cancers which are coming up, and the number of cases which you used to see earlier has increased tremendously. So, cancer screening is the most important thing when you reach menopause or you are around this age. In fact, we are seeing cancers at very young age also, in 30s, 40s also. So, annual screening is a must. So, your mammogram should start after 40, especially when you have high risk in your family, you have some family history. Then you should get your genetic also genes tested for BRCA1, BRCA2, so that you know if there's a link and you are more prone to it. Second thing is annual ultrasounds, whole body and TVS lining. So there's a tendency in females to stop their uterus ultrasound once they have reached menopause, but this is not true. So every year we have to check the uterus lining also, whether the recommended thickness of the lining is there or has it increased
After
or
menopause also.
yeah. So if it is increasing, then it is not good, because now when estrogen has stopped working, we want your lining to be thin. If it is thick, then again it is pathological. So ovarian testing, the sizes of the ovary, whether there is any cyst, whether there is any tumor going on. So ultrasound is going to pick up everything. So ultrasounds, your breast screening, your DEXA screening, everything is important after. So I would encourage each and everybody to please go and have your annual checkups at least before your problems start. In fact, for cervical cancer, we have pap smears, which usually are started from 21 years of age. So every 3 years, if you're doing it only pap smear, or with HPV, it is every 5 years. So you should do it regularly so that we catch cancers before it actually erupts completely. So those are screening methods. Before actual cancer happens, we just catch it at the very early stage, so that the surgery extent and everything is less. Otherwise, if it is like detected at later stages, surgery is not possible. People have to go for chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and then also it is not curable. So prevention is always better than cure. So,
Even cervical cancer vaccine.
yeah. So cervical cancer vaccine, now we are giving to 9 to 26 years of age, we recommend it. But now till 45 you can take it. So it is against human papilloma virus, which has many strains. So for high risk strains, we are giving it, and latest is Gardasil 9, which we are giving in 3 doses. So I would tell every female to take it before they turn 45.
And it's like one dose or one
Three
vaccine?
doses.
Three
Three
doses.
doses,
needs
yes.
to be taken.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you again spoken about urinary incontinence, leaky moments that we come.
Hmm.
So, are there any simple exercises or habits that can, help us have the control over the urine like this? Or
So see, urinary incontinence is also one of the problems which is very prevalent. In fact, one in every third female has urine incontinence problem, but nobody is ready to talk about it because they find it very embarrassing and they don't even come up to the doctor to discuss about this.
Yeah.
They don't even tell their family members or friends. But when we examine them in routine gynae checkup, then they tell us, no, this is also one of the problems. And with urine leakage, you can have other problems also, like repeated UTIs with repeated vaginal infections. But this is something they feel very embarrassed to talk about it. So please, all the female is going to have this problem sooner or later in their life because estrogen is going to decrease after menopause. So good pelvic floor exercise is a must, whether you're doing Kegels or whether you're doing some yoga asanas. But this is a very important thing which you should incorporate in your daily activity and daily routines. So when I talk about Kegels, though it is a very simple exercise, but nobody does it. It is like nobody wants to spend time doing Kegels, but this is a must which should be there in your daily routine once you reach late 30s or 40s.
okay.
Nowadays, we have other things also, like MSLET chair is there. I have it at my clinic also, which is giving you 11,000 Kegels in 30 minutes. Though it is little costly affair, but as I told you, nobody is willing to spend on healthcare for this. They will spend on their anti-aging creams or treatments, but they will not spend on their healthcare and urine incontinence problem. But this is a very, very important thing which everybody should know, that please get your muscles toned up so that you don't end up in diapers. That becomes very embarrassing. That gives rise to repeated UTIs also. And then once you reach a point, things become irreparable. You cannot go back to your normal tone. So this awareness should always be there that they have to do Kegels or they have to take some treatments like EMSLO or something.
Any message you probably want to give to the family members, okay, apart from female feeling embarrassed, it is something around the family members also, who don't encourage such topics to be discussed.
So
or
I-
you face something which you feel ki
Yeah,
ये नहीं होना चाहिए.
that is what I'm telling you. You know, their females are so embarrassed and scared to talk about certain issues, be it bleeding disorders. So recently, I had a patient. I think I discussed with you also that the husband was not. He was not accepting that the wife is having bleeding problems during around
Yeah,
this perimenopausal problem. So I think it is important for the husbands to take the wife to the doctor once they see that she is bleeding. Bleeding during menopause is not a normal thing. Heavy bleeding. Okay. So it should, your uterus, your lining of the uterus, it should always be assessed what is the problem, why is the female bleeding. We don't do surgeries for all the patients. We do it only when it is indicated. But please don't have that fear that doctor के पास गए वो तो surgery
Surgery
कर
करेगा.
देगा and इसलिए जाओ ही मत. Please don't do that because females are suffering from anemia because of this lack of awareness only. ठीक है? Be it this or be it urine incontinence problem, everybody is so embarrassed to talk about it. I think families should be more welcoming to the problems. They should be having awareness कि अभी क्या क्या problems हो सकती है, what are the red flags they should see in their wives, in their mothers, in their daughters. कब उन्हें alert होना है, कब उन्हें डॉक्टर के पास ले जाना है. I think male is the one, and if your husband is not taking you to the doctor, please आप खुद ही चले जाओ.
खुद ही चले जाओ.
Don't wait for things to worsen up. Plus, as I told you, menopause is all about mental wellness as well as emotional wellness. So I think वो जो connect होता है, connect with your partner, connect with your friend is very important to give you stability. Because of course there'll be hormonal changes, there'll be mood changes, there'll be all the organs are going to have changes. So it is very important that you accept these changes. Well, first thing is you should be accepting these changes. So menopause it doesn't mean that you will stop having your normal life. ठीक है, do whatever you were doing earlier, do them now also. Don't think यार अभी तो यार you have reached this age तो अभी you have to stop. Don't give that pause to your body. Do everything. Make good friends. Spend time with them. तभी तो like earlier we used to have retirement age because उस time के बाद we want a we want to live with our family. So I think family should give that support to the elderlies. Friends should be there. They should all meditate together, and plus there should be a motivation for exercising. If you're exercising alone, that I think that enthusiasm for exercising that
Goes
dies
away.
very, very,
Yeah,
very
that's
early.
true, that's
So I think if everybody is exercising, I think everybody is going to have healthy lifestyle and everything. So I think you have to find your peer group and अपना age का whatever जिसके साथ भी comfortable हो, just find them and continue this journey.
continuous journey. Chalo, that was wonderful. I think काफी कुछ were new things for me also today. So while there are many topics that actually we can go on talking about, because women goes through any woman goes through a lot of changes all through her life, but one thing which is becoming of a concern these days is, like, most of the women are working these days, and they are equal partners in earning money for the family. So they face a lot of challenges whether to start their family, or because they are probably at the peak of their careers, or they should know when they should start it. If they start it later, then problem hoti hai. If they start it early, then there's a problem. And of course, I think unke jobs mein bhi problem aati hai. People don't take pregnant women seriously sometimes, or that also happens. So what is your thought process on that?
See, I think a female herself knows when it is the best time to reproduce. If she thinks her career is more important at some point of time, that she should not decide this thing whether she has to start a family or not by her family's advice. Well, it is she herself who has to decide. If she thinks her career is more important at that point of time, the only thing which I want all the females to know is the egg quality, which is AMH, which we test by a simple test called as AMH. And if they think that AMH is on the lower side and she wants to postpone her pregnancy for a longer time and she wants to focus on her career, she should get her eggs frozen. So
Okay,
that is a facility which is available,
Yeah.
so that we can freeze her eggs at this point of time when her egg quality is still good, and then she can concentrate on her career, and whenever she wants to come back to fertility she can do it. So I think there's a lot of pressure on the females for starting a family, but this time is also important for her career.
Yeah.
So she has to miss one thing, which is we all know either you can start your family or your career. But I think once you freeze your eggs, then that tension is not there. That if I don't get pregnant if I start planning after 5 years or 10 years. So I think if you freeze your eggs, that's a facility which they can go and discuss with their doctors, and I think their dilemma will decrease with this.
So it's a small test. What would you
Yeah,
mention?
that's a blood test which we call as AMH, which will give us an idea that how good quality eggs females have at that point of time, and I think that will help us in deciding whether she should go for egg freezing or she could just continue and delay her pregnancy by a year or two.
So freezing eggs, and when she wants to become pregnant, that thing is like very easy to kind of do it, like
Yeah, she can
implanting
do it. It will be through IVF. That will not be a natural
Okay.
conception. It will be through IVF.
IVF
But yes,
will be-
when you think that your career is at a peak and you think that you have to invest more time on that, then of course you can do that by not taking tension for your fertility.
But IVF also, there would be an age bracket, now that you can't, maybe late 40s. Somebody says now I want to go back and do it.
Many in late 40s people are doing it. So
They're doing
nowadays mostly people are like doing it in their late 30s and 40s. They are doing it. But if your eggs are of good quality, you can do it
You can
at
do
that point of time also. So if they have not frozen their eggs at the correct time, when they later plan it, then that time also they'll have to go for IVF. But if their own eggs have decreased so much in their quality, sometimes donor eggs then IVF people advise, which is usually not acceptable to the patient, that
Yeah.
using donor eggs. So it is better they can get their own eggs frozen so that later they can use it and they don't have to go for donor eggs.
That's
I think that is also one of the options available for working females.
That's a good thing, because, but things are changing also now. We see a lot of actresses actually having babies much in time. Things are changing. Acceptance of a woman ki
Yes,
her
surrogacy is there,
productivity will go
everything.
down after pregnancy. ऐसा नहीं, वो things are some those blockages are getting removed.
Yes,
Yes,
but still, I think we have a long way to go.
Oh, yes.
Long way to go.
Long way to go.
Journey of a working female is never easy.
Never
There
easy.
would be somebody to tell her you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and that guilt is always there. कि ठीक है, we have missed that. I think, but we should ignore everything. if you're doing your own job, see, you cannot be perfect. You will have some flaws, and we should be able to accept that. अगर acceptance आ जाएगा ना, we'll not feel guilty.
So when, like, you're a woman yourself, so when you were rising up the ladder, I mean, you had your child also. You think your probably promotion, or going up another step was stopped because you were expecting or something like that? Did you feel that you were kind of put on the back seat?
See, thankfully, my family supported me. Okay, and plus, I'm in a this gynae field where mostly we have females.
Yeah.
So, of course, any female who reproduces, they should be able to accept. They should accept that 2 years in their career they have to sacrifice. So that acceptance should be there. And as I told you, nobody is perfect. मतलब you should be able to accept your flaws also. ठीक है, career में आगे नहीं जा पाए तो उस time पे I think my pregnancy journey was more important.
More important.
So I accepted that.
Clarity to me, yeah.
So मतलब a female should know, मतलब उसे अगर करना है तो करना है. Then you don't have to change your decision by others saying you कि अब करो तब करो. But ठीक है, अगर आप कर रहे हो तो then it is your own decision and you should love it. You should love your pregnancy journey also. You should love your kids journey. Because see, if you're working, this is never a 2 year journey. मतलब when your kids are growing up, they also need you. So, but you have to sacrifice somewhere or the other. It's okay. You have to
It's a
accept
very
it. and go.
enjoyable journey. Actually, it's not something that I never felt like a sacrifice. It was more like an enjoyable journey. It's a beautiful journey to go through. But timing is what you can decide now, thanks to technology. That's great. Because I think one topic which is a sensitive topic but needs attention is sexual education of girls, even women for that matter. Sometimes we are so unaware of what the entire process is, probably what is the hygiene required, what are the precautions required, what are ways and means to protect ourselves in the entire process. So I think let's talk about it from your knowledge and expertise.
See, nowadays, I think most of the girls after school, in school also, they are sexually active. So
Yeah.
we don't even ask whether you're sexually active or not. We know they are sexually active.
Yeah.
Only one person will only say that we are not sexually active. So it is meant that everybody is sexually active. They come with various problems like vaginitis, or even for that matter, they have no idea about contraception also. They just know that there is one pill method which can be used, but they have no idea that there are other methods also which should be used for regular contraception. So I think contraception knowledge for even for girls and for boys is very important. Sexually transmitted diseases they should have knowledge about, and they should know the importance of condoms. Condoms is not only for pregnancy prevention, it is for prevention of STDs also. Because once you have STDs, there are many diseases, because they remain in your vagina for a longer time. The moment your immunity decreases, they just flare up again. So I think at the first place, you should be avoiding them. You should be preventing them. So I think condoms are very important. Every girl should know that because boys never want condoms. So girls are like, my partner didn't want condom, so I didn't use it. But this should not be the answer. They should use it for their own protection. The second thing is they should know what is the contraception method available and what are the other various methods apart from condom which they can use. Third is the medical termination of pregnancy. If it is an unwanted pregnancy, Government of India has laws. Termination is a valid thing in India, and you can terminate the pregnancy till 20 weeks of pregnancy. So that's a pretty long time which government has given you to decide. So sometimes the girls, they miss their periods also, but they are so I don't know, they are so confused. They just blame their delayed periods that they don't even get to know they are pregnant. They come up with 5 months pregnancy, 6 months pregnancy, and once you cross the limit of 20 weeks, you cannot get terminated. So I think once you miss your periods, please be aware that if you have had unprotected intercourse, you can be pregnant also. This is something real which happens. It can happen with just one act of intercourse, and if you're not aware, you can just carry the baby, and then they find out ways to terminate it, and after 20 weeks it is not legal in India. So I think the earlier you are aware of, you'll do it. So I think girls should be taught what are STDs, what are the complications of having unprotected intercourse, and how soon you can go to a doctor, and how you should do it in a legal way. And when you're going to a doctor, you know that it is going to be a aseptic thing. Otherwise, when you're going to quacks or something, sometimes they use very unhygienic methods where girls can get pelvic infections or other things. So they should be aware that they have to go to a proper body
doctor.
and proper doctor so that it is done in a proper way.
I think this education is important. Pehle, I think all the mothers should have become active
Yeah.
in talking to the doctors,
Yes.
daughters, explaining to them कि कैसे करना है, क्या करना है, and then ऊपर से even the family around has to be quite open in discussing all these things. When
Yes.
we know kids are sexually active these days.
Yes, yes.
It's very important. I think और नहीं हो तो सबसे ज़्यादा I think annual checkup with the gynae is the most important thing.
Yes.
उससे I think काफी चीजें clear हो जाएंगी
Yes.
बच्चों को भी.
Also, one thing I want to tell all the girls is smoking and alcohol. They are starting at a very, very early age,
Yeah.
which is going to do a long term harm to their body. So they should be aware कि भैया please it's not a thing to show off. Please refrain from smoking. तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा it is going to affect all your organs plus your fertility. Everything it affects. Even alcohol, you can take it occasionally in parties or something, but don't make it a routine thing. It's a status of symbol. I think
Yeah, I
nowadays
know.
even people who cannot afford it, they come and tell you the history that nahi, we smoke and drink regularly. I think that should also be. They should also have a awareness that what all harms it can do to your body.
That's true. That's true. I think very three main things: your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health is in your hands. Basically, it's really in your
True.
hands how you take care of it.
True.
So, making it a little lighter now, हमने बड़ी heavy भी बातें कर ली. Let's play a little quick rapid fire round with you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so life stage which you'll time travel for a day. Was it your teen spirit? Is it your free spirited 20s or 50s?
Mm. I think 20s, when you're little old, also you know what is right, what is wrong,
Yeah.
and you don't have that responsibility of taking care of your family or something. You're on your own
You're on
and
your
you're
own.
confident.
That's good. Ultimate self care, if you enjoy that, bubble bath or a face mask.
Bubble bath or face mask. I
If
would
you
do
get
both.
that leisure time anytime, because
I would like to exercise.
exercise, physical exercise.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. That's wonderful. The most indulgent food that keeps you happy in your periods.
I think I eat everything, but no for sugars. Sugar, I've reduced a lot. But normal home food.
Nothing in particular. कि This thing is like
No, I don't have those cravings, but anything good.
that's good. Please do answer. This is the most awkward question you've ever been asked by a patient or a family member.
So see, there are many awkward moments. Infertile patients, they ask, doctor, are we going to get pregnant? The pregnant patients, they ask, boy hai ki girl hai? Or they ask, normal delivery hogi ki cesarean hoga? At the start of the pregnancy itself, they ask ki mera kya hoga? That's difficult to answer. Or when they reach menopause, they ask कि अब क्या होगा, मुझे कैंसर तो नहीं हो जाएगा, मतलब just with some fantasies in their mind उसी से related. So there are many
They
awkward
all
questions.
worries all the time.
Yes.
Always surrounded by worries. Okay, if there's one word that you can describe your own journey as a gynae.
I think I love my job. I think I love it. So it has been very nice. So I love it because it's a female
Did you
oriented
always wanted
branch.
to become a gynecologist if you think about it? Why did you choose a specific line?
Because I think earlier, so I was very fascinated by कि अच्छा, it involves delivery and it's a happy branch. We don't see people dying so much because if you go to any other branch, people usually die or something happens.
Yeah.
It is a happy branch. We see people like either they are giving birth to babies, so they are happy, or they're getting hysterectomies done or treatment done. So it's a happy branch. So I love it that way. Though it is little hectic, but I love it.
Good. So, is there a Bollywood song that you sing when you're stressed out in a complicated case? You can sing also. You can share a line
No,
also.
no,
Anything
I'm a
you want
very
to do.
bad singer. No, I just asked my technician to put on some song. He just puts in the okay, but I don't sing.
You don't choose a song?
No, I don't choose a song.
No.
See, OT mein though we are, I think, quite serious about the operation. So
There is no any music playing in OT.
yeah, there's music playing in the background, but
There
we
is
don't sing
always-
it. We just concentrate on what is happening.
There is always some music in the background.
Yeah, it is there.
Like songs are just instrumental.
No, it's a song. Like proper music system is there now, OTs. So we hear songs when we are operating.
Doctors dance also while doing the surgeries?
No,
ऐसा
no.
कुछ नहीं होता है.
नहीं.
They're too engrossed in the surgery, I think then.
Yes.
Okay. Chalo, I think it was a wonderful session. Thank you so much, Dr. Dipti Asthana, for guiding us today and taking
Thank
us through
you.
these life-changing chapters with such compassion, clarity, and probably scare also, but learning today, if I must say that. So today we have learned that each phase of a life, of woman's life, adolescence, puberty, perimenopause, menopause, it's a journey worth honoring. But it requires open dialogue. It requires a lot of self-care, as she just said rightly, that there is physical care, there's mental care, there's emotional care, and of course, relationships care is very, very important. People around us have to really come forward and help us out. अभी कुछ याद आ रहा है मेरे को एक YouTube interview of Sushmita Sen where she said that being a woman is a humongous gift that God has given us. So cherish your femininity, cherish who you are, take care of yourself, love yourself. I think that's very, very important. It starts with you and then everybody around you will follow what you want to do in life. So if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who really needs to know all these things, understand these things, and take charge of her life or life of anyone that he or she loves. So don't forget to love, subscribe, and follow our channel, Love Food and Fitness. And to end it in my little Bollywood way, so जो दिल को लगे उसे कह दो हाय हाय हाय, and जो दिल से ना लगे उसे कह दो bye bye bye. Love you zindagi, love your zindagi, love yourself, and be gentle with yourselves and to each other. Lots of love. Take care. Thank you.